Hello, this is Andre with Tongue Tale on Monday. And today's tale is about the tongue of a young woman who came to me with chronic migraines. Her migraines would begin as pressure headache on the right side of her head, and over time this pressure would build up until she would feel as if her head would explode. At the same time, she would also start feeling nauseous, and at the time when the migraine would reach its peak, she would start throwing up, and throwing up would actually relieve her symptoms. Now, let's see what her tongue would tell us. Well, we can see that the coating of her tongue is thin and white, which is normal, and it is also moist. So there is an adequate amount of fluids. And at the same time, we can see that the shape of the tongue is rather enlarged. It is what's called swollen tongue. You can see how it is pushing to the sides of her lips on the sides, and at the same time it's protruding forward all the way to the end of her chin. And this indicates that she has dampness retention. Furthermore, we can see that the sides of her tongue have teeth marks, which is also indication of dampness attributed to spleen qi deficiency. So she has spleen qi deficiency with dampness. And this swelling actually extends all the way to the anterior 1/3 of the tongue, where the tongue is even more swollen. And this area of the tongue corresponds with the upper burner, the lung in particular. And usually this type of shape of the tongue is associated with phlegm dampness. And in Chinese medicine, we have a saying that spleen accumulates phlegm and lung collects phlegm. Next, we're going to take a look at the edges of the tongue. You can see they are elevated. And so there is an element of liver qi stagnation. And this is very important because we know when we have liver qi stagnation in conjunction with spleen qi deficiency, this is an indication that liver qi invades spleen, creating spleen qi deficiency, and spleen qi deficiency causing dampness. So liver qi stagnation is primary in this case. Also, we can observe little pale red dots along the sides of the tongue. And this is an indication of yang escaping from the liver aspect. And so this is an indication of liver yang rising. You can see that overall tongue is a little bit pale, but the sides of the tongue are especially pale. So I would contend that she also has liver blood deficiency. However, her tongue is not dry, which is a typical sign of blood deficiency. But when we speak about liver yang rising, very often it comes in conjunction with liver blood deficiency. Next, let us observe the sublingual veins. You can see that on the right side, this vein is dark, and it extends all the way to the tip of the tongue, indicating that there is also an element of blood stagnation in this case. And therefore, we need to incorporate herbs that invigorate blood. And if we are to do acupuncture with this patient, we would definitely administer blood letting, especially from the temporal region on the side where she has a migraine. Now, let's put it all together. At the center of this disharmony, we observe liver. Liver qi stagnation invades spleen, creating spleen qi deficiency and dampness and phlegm. That's why she feels nauseous and she throws up. And when she throws up, she feels better because body expels phlegm. At the same time, liver yang is not anchored by liver yin and liver blood, and therefore it rises up. producing characteristic one-sided headaches. One-sided headaches are always attributed to liver yang rising. Now let's speak about the herbs in her formula. We need to anchor liver yang, and the best two herbs that address liver yang rising headaches, one-sided headaches, are Tianma, Gastrodia, and Goutang, Urticaria combination. Next, we want to invigorate blood, and a very good herb to do that would be Chuan Niu Shi, Seathula. This herb invigorates blood, and at the same time it also anchors liver yang. To treat liver qi stagnation headache, the herb of choice would be Chai Hu, Bupleurum. And this herb we usually combine with Baishao, white peonia root, because white peonia root nourishes liver blood, and what we call it soothes the liver, making it more comfortable so that it's not as agitated and would not invade spleen and stomach. Next, we also have to choose herbs to strengthen the spleen and dry dampness. To strengthen the spleen, we use Baizhu, Tractyloides, and to leach out dampness, we use Fuling, Poria. This herb strengthens the spleen and leaches out dampness. The difference between these two herbs is very subtle. Baizhu transforms dampness, meaning that it kind of dries it. It produces more energy, and this fluid, the stagnant fluid, this dampness, is transformed into something useful. And Fuling works by taking it to the bladder and eliminating it out of the body. So this concludes this formula. Now, if you suffer from migraines and would like to know what your tongue tells on you, write in the comments below and send us your picture, and we'll speak about your case next. I am Andre with Tongue Tale on Monday, and I will see you next Monday.